Weekly dose of politics,
snark, and heavy metal music.
All rise, motherfucker.
For your hosts, Brandon
and Matt.
Hide the room.
Performer hasn't been provided with a script. As a matter of fact, I have been permitted to choose my own words and discuss my own ideas regarding the choice that we face in the next few weeks. I have spent most of my life as a Democrat. I recently have seen fit to follow another course.
The defense policy of the United States is based on a simple premise. The United States does not start fights. We will never be an aggressor.
As for the peace that we would preserve, I wonder who among us would like to approach the wife or mother whose husband or son has died in South Vietnam and ask them if they think this is a peace that should be maintained indefinitely. There can be no real peace while one American is dying someplace in the world for the rest of us. We're at war with the most dangerous enemy that has ever faced mankind in his long climb from the swamp to the stars. And it's been said if we lose that war, and in so doing lose this way of freedom of ours, history will record with the greatest astonishment that those who had the most to lose did the least to prevent its happening. Well, I think it's time we ask ourselves if we still know the freedoms that were intended for us by the Founding Fathers.
Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. You and I must protect and preserve freedom here, or it will not be passed on to our children, and it will disappear everywhere in the world.
If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. And this idea that government is beholden to the people, that it has no other source of power except the sovereign people, is still the newest and the most unique idea in all the long history of man's relation to man. This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves. Regardless of their sincerity, their humanitarian motives, those who would trade our freedom for security have embarked on this downward course. They knew that governments don't control things. A government can't control the economy without controlling people. And they know when a government sets out to do that, it must use force and coercion to achieve its purpose.
We, the people. We, the people, tell the government what to do. It doesn't tell us. We, the people, are the driver. The government is the car. Almost all the world's constitutions are documents in which governments tell the people what their privileges are. Our Constitution is a document in which we, the people, tell the government what it is allowed to do. This administration in Washington has betrayed the working men and women of this country. I hope we have once again reminded people that man is not free unless government is limited. There's a clear cause and effect here that is as neat and predictable as a law of physics. As government expands, liberty contracts. A recession is when your neighbor loses his job. A depression is when you lose yours. And recovery is when President of the United States loses his.
Someday, when the time comes to deliver the final ultimatum, our surrender will be voluntary, because by that time, we will have been weakened from within spiritually, morally, and economically. The martyrs of history were not fools. Where then is the road to peace? Well, it's a simple answer after all. You and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We'll preserve for our children this, the last best hope of man on earth, or we'll sentence them to take the last step into 1,000 years of darkness.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the machine. I'm Brandon.
And I'm the new guy.
Yeah, this one, I pulled him off the street. I don't even know where he came from. I don't know what his political leanings are. And he just seems weird. And he smells funny.
My political leanings are potato.
So, Cortez is your sister?
Half sister.
Which half?
I knew you were going to ask that.
Yeah. Somebody here failed to mention that he was not going to be here last week, and yeah, so he's going to get a beating for the rest of the night. I was trying to explain to people, last week what the 4th of July entailed, and was having trouble kind of articulating it.
It was fun. It was very fun.
Well, I mean, I think we know how to party here, don't we?
Yeah.
Aside from kicking giant boxes full of fireworks cakes and breaking your foot, or your toes and setting each other on fire.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, go ahead. You know,
It's like after you kick that box, everybody's like, "You need to go to the hospital." I'm like, "No, just tape that shit up. That's all they're gonna do. It'll save you a lot of money, also."
yeah, I was okay with it. You notice how worried I was. I'm like, yeah, those are definitely broken. Pretty sure those are broken. And it still looks fucked up. I had to show you. It still looks fucked up now. It's been that long. It still looks fucked up. But no, I was having one of my episodes, so I couldn't really articulate what I was trying to say. But I was like trying to tell everybody, it's like, hey, they don't get out very often. I got you and Ho Ho here,
Mm-hmm.
and Chris and and a few others, and I don't think anybody went home unsatisfied with the night because it was a good time.
Yeah, it was.
I want more of those big Roman candles.
Oh, those were awesome. Those were amazing.
He's actually asking.
Fireworks show was outstanding, better than the lakes. So.
Yeah, we were shooting some pretty big shit.
Oh yeah.
This poor fucker here come out with us. I was like, dude, you're coming with us. You're gonna come out here and light some. He's like, oh really?
Yep. Go out there and we're shooting off like the 7-inch mortars. Yeah. He's talking to me. I'm like, what? I can't hear you,
dude. The first one you lit was the 5-inch.
Yeah,
no,
that was
6-inch.
Yes, the first one I lit was 6-inch,
and it went off. And all of a sudden, I look over him, and he's like,
I'm like,
no, that's not bad. You got to light the next one. He lit the 7-inch off, and all of a sudden he's going.
Like, god damn.
I'm like, so we were all doing the Archer. You know, we're standing there going mop.
Yeah.
Mop. Because none of us could hear a fucking thing.
Trying to read lips. What?
Oh, and dude, tell him about the report from those things, though, man. It was unreal.
Oh, yeah. Could hear it for miles around when they go off.
Well, a couple blocks away, there's a steel fence, like a 10-foot. I think it's a 10-foot, isn't it? 10-foot steel.
Yeah, it's 10 foot.
10-foot corrugated steel fence and shit like that, and there's a factory, beyond that. The 4-inch and a 5-inch, it was kind of like, and that was it. 7-inch went off, and it was like, yeah, it was bad. It was. We now know what Berlin sounded like at one point. Like, boom, I was like, and you felt the shockwave.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these things are a couple 100 feet in the air, and I mean, you felt the shockwave from these things going off. It was a good time. I mean, it was.
It was.
And we're already putting a jar together for next year to make it bigger.
Nice.
We said we probably won't even bother with like the 4 and 5-inch shells. We're gonna go with like 6 to 8 inch.
6 and higher.
I almost said I should just get my license so I can get commercial size shells.
Yeah.
I don't know how the neighborhood would feel about that though. Because the 7s and 8s are basically, for all intents and purposes, commercial grade. They are, what you would find at most places.
Mm-hmm.
But I want like the 10-inch and the 12-inch.
I thought it was hilarious when the Cybertruck pulled off to the side by the factory there, and everybody got out and was watching.
I've been trying to chase him down. I know who he is now.
Okay, because I didn't know who it was.
I know who he is, and I know he's a retiree, and I know where he works. But I scared the hell out of the. I gotta remember we have a camera. Why do I keep looking at you? Well, I went to where the guy I was told the guy works. He wasn't there. The Cybertruck wasn't there, and I'm like, hey, does the guy that owns the Cybertruck work here? And the guy I was talking to goes, why? Like, he was like almost like terrified to ask that question. I'm like, dude, I'm not here for a problem. I was like, I want to tell him that next time, if you want to watch, I was like, dude, you could have came around the block and at least said good job, and when we probably would have told you to pull over, grab a cheeseburger and a beer, and have some fun. And the worst part was I'm like the most, my field of vision is legendary. Matt can attest to that. and I see everything, and I didn't even notice that truck was there because I was so fixated on what I was doing. And when, like I said, when he left, he didn't even come down the road and say hi.
Nope. He just went on down the road. Stayed until it was done. So.
Well, until he thought it was done.
Yeah.
And then we found more shit to throw out. Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna go bigger and better. That's for damn sure. Some other things have happened. I mean, he went off on his on a scouts thing, right?
Yeah, went to Lake of the Ozarks. That was actually pretty awesome.
Where exactly did you go? Did you go to Did you go to the Trail Tiers?
So it was a scout reservation in that area. Fucking 4 hours away, or a little over 4 hours. But got to do a little zip lining, rifle shooting, archery. Found some amazing hiking trails and got some great pictures of the lake. It was a good time. The area they had there for the troop was it looks like they're constantly upgrading, because like every building that they had for the merit badges were like brand new.
Oh, that's nice.
And even their automotive shop was pretty lit. So it was a good time.
Good deal. Yeah, because, I mean, you didn't even give me a warning.
It was on my list of shit to do, and I could have swore I did.
Dick. Yeah, we were just sitting here. I'm like, oh, great. I'm going to have one of my memory episodes there, and I'm going to sit here and talk about nothing because I can't remember anything. But it was still okay, I guess. But my week's been kind of interesting, I guess. Starting with yesterday, with the fair. The stock car races were at the local fairgrounds at my our home here, and not 45 minutes before the races started, it was a torrential downpour. In less than, what was it, like 10, 15 minutes, there was 3/4 of an inch of rain that hit that track.
Yeah, roughly.
So we show up out there, and because they decided they were not going to cancel, so we showed up out there, and as soon as we try to pull through the gate, there is just haulers, race car haulers and everything just stuck in the mud everywhere. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a shit show. And we stuck it in 4-wheel drive and made it right past, just drove right past and went up there and parked and everything else like that. And I got out and got to our trailer and was like, hey, how bad is the track? And they just pointed. And I'm like, I was like, where's the road grader? Where's the rest of the tractors? They had one skid steer, one bobcat, little skid steer, mini skid steer, and the roller tractor. I'm like, that's not gonna cut it. I can see it from here. It's not gonna cut it. And we all started jumping in our trucks. And I was one of the first ones out, and I was the last one to actually leave the track until the cars actually came out. But we drove that thing for over an hour, trying to smash that mud down and make a viable racing surface. And I'll tell you what, the guys from Track Enterprises doing what they could with what they had with the roller tractor and the skid steer and the Bobcat. The guy in the Bobcat was working his ass off, and I know he had to be frustrated because every time we would meet him, he'd be coming towards us to try and rake off, and we'd be right there. So we'd have to drive around him. But it was definitely a team effort, and it was worth every minute of it. The guys from Track Enterprises busted their ass to put that show on. And by the time the cars could actually go out there for hot laps and for their heat races, that shit was fast. I showed Matt the video before we got on here, and that track usually it ends up being dusty and dry slick, and it's usually terrible conditions wise. But drivers love it; it's a good track, but usually that's not as well worked and everything. But that rain, I think that's probably what they're going to do next year is soak that thing down real good. Mm-hmm. And have us drive it, because it became tacky as hell. Those cars were just just flying around that thing. And they put on a great show. It really was a great show. I couldn't believe how many cars actually showed up. Now, a lot of people didn't show up because, the fans, the stands didn't really get super filled because everybody's like, "Oh, it's raining. They're not going to have the races." Yeah, we did. It was a good time. You missed it. Sorry. Good thing I took video.
Yeah, because even the forecast said it wasn't going to rain that long.
No, but they were worried because of how much came down that it was going to be. That was it. But no, it ended up real well. It worked out real well. The track was absolutely just lightning fast. There was 27 modifieds that showed up. That's, somebody actually said, "Well, this doesn't sound like a lot." I was like, "Have you ever tried to put 27 modifieds on a single track?" That's a lot of cars.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the turnout was fantastic for the sportsmans and the street stocks. And, I mean, the racing was really good. So, I mean, I consider it a success. But now let's talk about this morning. I go to Springfield. I go to do my runs, right?
Yeah.
One of them is I'm picking up at a Sam's. We had a large order of dried goods and stuff like that. So I was at Sam's picking up, and I had the windows down in the van, and I was just pulling in, and if I can hear it, if my deaf ass can hear it, then you're talking way too fucking loud. And I pulled up, and I seen one of the workers outside next to this brand new, very large, very nice looking SUV, white SUV. And I heard him say, "Ma'am, let me unload my cart and I'll go check on that for you." And I heard her. She was like, "Well, I need you to check on it right now. You need to go right now. Your job is to do what I want you to do. Go do it right now." He's like, "Ma'am, I can't leave this cart in the parking lot with your stuff on it. I have to load it first." He goes, "And then I promise you I'll go in there and check on it for you." So he's taking a beating. And he gets done. He goes like, all right, ma'am, I'll be right back." And the cart was right next to her SUV. No sooner than he walks into the door, I watched this bitch get out of her SUV. After she did this, I was looking over and she was flailing in the SUV. She's like doing that. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? She gets out, grabs his cart, throws it in the middle of the lane. You know how busy that's Sam Springfield. So you know how busy that place is.
Yeah.
It's bumper to bumper traffic at the best times. And she just chucks it out in the middle. I was like, "Ma'am, I'm parked right next to the car corral. It's 2 spaces from you. Would you mind, being nice and going ahead and putting that over here?" And she stared at me. I was like, and just shoved it into the lane. I'm like, "Ma'am, this is a very busy place, right? And you're going to be bothering other customers. Can you? I mean, it's not hard. Just move it over here." And I even said at one point, "Just push it my direction, and I will do it myself, or whatever. Just get close to me." She goes and she looks at me and she gives me the middle finger and she goes, "Go fuck yourself," and then gets in the SUV and takes off. I'm like, "You bitch." Here comes that employee. He's walking outside and he's like, "Did she leave?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, she did." He's like, "Where did you find the cart?" Because he saw me dragging the cart to the corral. I was like, "Oh, she left it right in the middle of the lane." And his face turned bright red, and I was like, "Yep, I know it, dude. I get it." But get this, it was like the picture perfect of the quintessential Karen. Let me tell you, because again, I see things and I memorize. She gets out of the SUV. She's wearing one of those tan golf skirts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the white socks up past the ankle, the running shoes, a white polo with the visor cap and her ponytail pulled out the back with the big sunglasses. Tell me you didn't smell that one coming.
Right.
Yeah. And yes, I said smell on purpose because there's a reason for that. He knows. But I came to this conclusion a long time ago, and I seriously have thought about putting it down into a video or into thoughts or anything else like that. Society is bullshit. Society has taken a backseat to stupid. They're fucking. I mean, I'm not saying it used to be sporadic, sporadic incidents. Now it's just across the board. They are fucking assholes. Assholes. Complete assholes. We've had to deal with them. I don't know how, but he's somehow managed to have to deal with them, and he's a fucking armed guard. So he doesn't even work in retail, and if he's got to deal with it, then we know society's really gone to shit. But I wanted to ream her ass so bad, but she got in the SUV to leave too quickly. Because I would have definitely told her, like, listen, this is a retail environment. There's people out here and everything else like that. These people don't come to fucking work to make minimum wage, maybe a little over, to deal with your bullshit. Okay? They're not your personal fucking punching bag. If you're having a bad day, keep that shit at home. Don't come out and do it to us. All right? That's not what they're there for. And I detest the fact that people think that that's normal and okay now. They think, well, they especially like the big box stores. They're the worst offenders of it because these people know that if the employee says something, they're going to lose their job. So they are the punching bag. But they seem to forget that there's assholes like me that walk around. And we don't mind saying anything. It's not difficult to be a decent human being to people. Everybody has a bad day. Okay? But to take it out on people for the most minuscule reasons, like, oh, they forgot my ketchup packets in the McDonald's, so I'm going to drive through and smash everything on the fucking counter and throw the cheeseburger at them.
Sad thing is, there's people like that.
No, I'm using that as an example because that really has happened.
Yeah.
Did you know there was a grocery employee in Nashville that got stabbed damn near to death because a person's EBT card didn't work? Seriously, that actually happened. Like, she went to work that day and says, you know what? I hope that somebody doesn't have any money on their EBT, that it's been canceled. And then they try to take off with the stuff. And when I tell them, ma'am, you can't take that. And then they decide to stab me to death. I'm sure that was on her list of things to fucking do that day. But I've had somebody tell me, no, people are generally good. I'm like, have you been out in the world lately? I was like, everywhere I go, almost every single day, even in a small community, has these just morally inept jackasses that populate the city. And I'm not saying, I'm not even saying like here where we live. I'm saying, like, in general. Around here, yes, I've ran into them. Hell, we've had them at the restaurant. I had one of them, this was a while back. We talked about it on here, where someone come in and was being a complete, absolute douchebag to one of our employees. Didn't realize that I was there, and I spoke up and said something, and the guy took offense and asked me who the hell I was to tell him anything. I was like, I'm one of the owners. And he just stared at me like, oh, shit, I've been caught. And I was like, apologize. I was like, you're apologizing to me and you're apologizing to her. If you don't, you're banned from here and you'll never return. And he kind of half-hearted apologized. He goes, well, I was just having a bad... He said that. I was just having a bad day.
Oh, then keep that shit to yourself then.
Exactly. I said, you know what? I was like, I said it to him. I was like, I asked the employee who she no longer works for us. She went somewhere else. But I was like, do you accept his apology? I gave that decision to her, because if she would have said no, I'd have said, get out and don't come back.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I accept his apology, even though she was in tears because of how terrible he was being to her. And I do this. I was like, dude, take it for whatever. I don't think this is going to change anything with you. I think this is probably a repetitious pattern. I said, you just happen to find the one person that's not going to get put up with your bullshit. And I was like, everybody has a bad day. I was like, I've had some of the worst days I've ever had. I went out to the store and something something would happen. They wouldn't have something I needed, or one day my card didn't work, and I had, I was panicking because my card actually broke. It wouldn't work. And for some reason, the new system, they weren't allowed to do it manually. So I'm standing there absolutely embarrassed because I I was having a really bad day. Guess what I did? I looked at him. I was like, I was like, I'm angry, but it's not your fault. I was like, I'm going to go off here to the side and see what I can do. And just keep the stuff there for a minute. And if it doesn't, I even offered to help put it back. And I was livid. It doesn't take much to be a good human being. And Angie, no, the only people to get fired for that are the ones that work in the big box stores. Try that shit in a mom and pop store. You're lucky to leave alive if you piss some of them people off. Trust me. Have you been to some of the shops? Go into a couple of these places and act the fool like that and see what happens. But it's gotten out of hand, and they need to start doing something about it.
Mm-hmm.
Ian, you might actually be onto something because we said that. We think the cognitive dissonance that happened during COVID has spread worse than the virus. People were cooped up. People didn't read anything or do anything, to stimulate their minds while the bullshit was happening. And then now they're just angry and they come out in the world and be dicks. Is there any other way to put that?
No.
Well, while we get set up for break, Angie, let me tell you a little story here. I worked at a place in the Capitol for a little bit, and they were having a meeting because apparently a lot of places were getting robbed. So they had a district manager, territory manager, stuff like that. And they were standing there and they were telling us like what to do in the event of a robbery and everything else like that. And what they said and my response, I guess, apparently became legend. Because I guess I was used as a cautionary tale after that. Because they said, well, if somebody comes in and tries to rob you and everything else like that, just give them what they want, even if they come behind the counter. And I'm like, hold on, wait. Can you say that again? Sir, can you say that again? He's like, if they come behind the counter or whatever else like that, just let them. I was like, hold on. You're saying that if they come behind the counter and threaten me, because he did mention, put hands on you or anything else like that, just give them what they want so they'll leave. I was like, so you're telling me they can come behind the counter and they can do whatever they want, and I'm basically just supposed to stand here and take it? And he's like, yeah, in a way. He goes, I wouldn't put it that way, but yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm like, I disagree. And the entire room, the employees and the district manager are staring at me, the district manager in horror because he knew what my response was going to be. He got to know me a little bit better. And I was like, no, I disagree. I said, if you come behind that counter and you threaten me and you put your hands on me, or you try to put your hands on one of my fellow employees here, I was like, you're in my territory now. I was like, everything in the area becomes a weapon, including the fucking cash register you're trying to rob. I will beat you to death with it. And he's like, look, the look on his face, like, what? And I was like, I'm not kidding. I was like, I will defend myself. I was like, and I don't even give a damn if you guys fire me for it, but I'm not going to sit there and let somebody attack me or attack fellow employees or anything else like that while they're trying to rob a store. So if they walk up and say, I want all your money, I'm like, it's not mine. Here you go, buddy. You have insurance for that. You're a big box corporation. But when it comes to my safety, on the other hand, everything, including them shelves, it doesn't matter what's behind me. I'll put a broomstick up his ass, turn him into a fucking lollipop. I will not be one of those statistics. And needless to say, I got pulled to the side and told that that's not the best way to go about things, and I shouldn't have said that in front of all the other employees because it gives them ideas. I'm like, good, I hope it does.
What? Because that's the fact. Because if they, you got to look at it as if somebody's coming in to do something like that, they've already made the decision that they are going to harm somebody or if not kill them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got to do what you got to do to protect yourself.
Right. And I said, I just was not going to, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be that person. You know, if that makes sense. I'm not. You
Yeah.
know, if I'm going down fighting. I'm not gonna sit there and just take it. I was trying to find one particular song, and I don't even know where it's at. What was the... Helps if you can... No, not it. I thought it was right there. I might just play the one that I've already got in queue here. Yeah, that's weird. I wonder if I accidentally got rid of it. I could very well have. Alright, so we'll go with this.
Who are these fucking guys?
The Machine Radio Show.
So hot right now.
Don't shove it up.
Showtime.
Welcome to Thunderdome, bitch.
Tune in!
they're not stupid. They're not full of shit. They're fucking nuts.
Whatever, dumbass.
There is two big stones.
Hey, fuck you, buddy.
What the problem is?
Because stickers?
Oh, the baddest shitheads.
You know I love them.
Join the show, motherfucker!
Yeah, I keep looking up on the camera, and who's rolling confusion is sitting behind the garage.
I couldn't find a place to park out front.
Well, I was just wondering because it looks like it doesn't even know what it is. It doesn't know if it's a minivan, an SUV, or a parked car. What is that?
That's my Jeep.
I bet you. I bet you got ducks, don't you?
I actually do not.
I'm gonna get you the same duck I got my brother. The duck with a dick. And have you put it on your dash. Oh, keep feeling. All right, that's it. This is what's gonna happen. This is what's gonna happen. I'm getting the lollipops. You know which ones I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm getting rid of the nose hairs. Because I keep feeling like there's a boogie. It's not a boogie. It's the fucking hair in my nose, man.
Keeps poking your nostrils.
Yes. It keeps traveling down. I'm going balder, and as I go balder, my hair goes lower. It's in my ears and my nose now. I hate getting older. But anyhow, we already know that, of course, you know, the Democrats are complaining about the cuts and whatever else like that. Apparently, they don't want you to have lower taxes either. They wanted the largest tax hike in American history to happen. So, you know, we were talking about this a while back about how, like newspapers, news agencies and stuff like that should not be funded by the U.S. government. For whatever, you know, I don't care what party, they should not be funded by the U.S. government at all, right?
Right.
Because isn't that kind of meddling in the system there, the freedom of speech and stuff?
Absolutely.
You would think so? Yeah, I thought so too. Chucky Schumer doesn't, though.
Well, nobody's ever accused him of being smart.
I am curious. You know what? Before I even get into that, let's see. Let's check. I'm going to see if it pops up. Usually it does. Oh, he's worth about $7 million. Not bad for a guy with a salary of around $250,000, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyhow, let's listen to Chucky.
When parents see Republicans just axed educational programming, when people see Republicans just axe Sesame Street to pay for tax cuts to billionaires.
Yeah, okay, let's just stop that right there for a split second. They didn't axe Sesame Street. Sesame Street was not on the axing list. However, the funding to the publication that sometimes airs that is. When did PBS and NPR become, you know, educational?
You said PBS and NPR?
Yes. National Socialist Radio.
Oh.
NPR, yeah. I
didn't know NPR was.
Well, apparently it is now, and apparently the only thing that PBS does is Sesame Street. I mean, it has nothing. They have no news publications at all. They don't talk about anything at all. They just play Sesame Street and stuff all day long. Maybe Blue's Clues. I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of weird to me. But it gets worse.
Of course it does.
It's Chucky. What do you expect?
When rural Americans see Republicans not just betrayed them and defunded public radio, sometimes the only source in rural areas so vital to natural disasters, and it's the only news source there. The consequence.
Did he really just say only news source there?
So what I'm gathering is if there's a natural disaster, I need to tune into PBS. Is that what he's saying?
Yeah. Hey, Chucky. Hey,
Mavaleka.
rural Americans here. I mean, if we open the door that's in the other side of the screen here and look outside, you know what we see? Corn.
I would say cornfields and maybe some beans.
Never once have I had to tune into NPR or PBS for my my newscasts or my my safety for the forecasting or anything else like that. No, because what's amazing, and I know, Chucky, that you were probably around when moving pictures first started, silent film and shit like that. But do you know how many different sources we've had? I mean, I'm 44 years old, and for as long as I can remember, we've had ABC, NBC, Fox News, all that stuff, and then local radio, 1240 AM, 1340 AM, all the regular radio stations and stuff like that. Yeah, Chucky, we're not in the fucking dark ages. By the way, weather alerts, bitch, right here on this phone. Rural Americans do not rely on NPR for their safety. If they did, they'd all die. I said that out loud. I said the quiet part out loud. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's not done. And the billionaires tax cuts thing is hilarious because I didn't know people that make between 30 and 80,000 are billionaires.
Oh.
I didn't know that Social Security recipients are billionaires or people that get tips. But hey, whatever.
Will be severe. Americans will remember. Democrats will ensure that they don't forget. When parents see Republicans
no, you mean he'll sit there and say bullshit continuously,
mm-hmm.
like he just did there. Wow. I mean, Chucky's only worth $7 million. Well, according to Forbes, at least. His net worth is in the millions of dollars, yes. Yep. Okay. Oh, shit. I was wrong. It says up here on Forbes, his estimate that he's worth about $7 million, but down here it says a different story altogether. According to his LinkedIn, he's worth $81 million. He earned $13 million in 2024. Yeah, he makes a lot of money. Oh, look at that. There's more of it. And it seems to be the same number now approaching. So, that's crazy, yeah. I just for clarity. National Socialist Radio, National Public Radio, NPR, a wide range of news, cultural, and entertainment programming. Sorry, still shouldn't fund it. Who's that?
I have no idea.
Are we being detained? Should we be afraid? Somebody else came in the chat. But no, like I said, that's not the government. It's not the government's job to pay for a news publication, because then that would be a conflict of interest in a very big way. And I'm saying that across the board. I don't give a shit what news agency you're from. If you're from Fox News, like they keep wanting to bring up, or PSNBC, or any of those, any of them. I don't care. ABC, NBC, whatever. The government, our taxpayer dollars, should not be paying for it, because most of the time you only offer conjecture and opinion. You do not offer any sort of truth. Sorry to Big Bird that he might have to find another job after 100 fucking years of being on air, but hey. By the way, they're not going anywhere. They're just not being funded solely by the government anymore. That's the part that they keep leaving out. The government just says we're not going to pay for these news publications anymore because we shouldn't be paying for these news publications anymore. They're not going anywhere. Sorry about your luck. Do we have to wake up Alan again? Oh yeah, you missed that story.
What?
You missed that story, didn't you?
Yeah.
Hey Alan, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, buddy. We were, last week we were talking and stuff like that, and apparently Alan decided to fall asleep, and she's like, "I want to see if you yell at him if he'll wake up."
Did it work?
And I did, and he woke up.
Oh.
It was bad.
That's hilarious.
So he can still hear me, though. Love you, buddy. I forgot to fill Matt in on I am now the human alarm clock. Oh, dude, most alarm clocks, you can actually record the sound that you want.
Yeah.
Christina, I have an idea. I will make a specific sound bite for you to play every time Alan needs to wake up. Program it into his alarm clock, so all he hears is my voice. What? I mean, it actually worked. I'm just saying, it did work. I'm like, Alan, this is the Machine Radio Show. This is your wake-up call. I've already been asked to do weirder things, like doing voiceovers on fruit and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh.
I wasn't sure how to take that one either. Like seriously, this person's talking about how juicy and ripe and everything this thing is. You should do a voiceover of it. I'm like, no. It's going to end up badly. Very badly. I like this one. But all right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back and think about it. I mean, me and Matt can really, dude. Actually, I take it back. I'd be the one to wake everybody up. You be the one to fucking put them asleep.
What?
Yeah, we'll put some slide ocean noises and a little bit of birds chirping, stuff like that, and you can just sit there and.
You want me to do my sexy radio voice?
Like
welcome to 95, the Love Radio. Oh,
just calm down. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes, and imagine a sheep bouncing over your head.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
this could work.
My opening music is? Ha! That's awesome. All right, we'll be right back.
Warning.
Thought you'd always be with me.
What you listening to?
The Machine Radio Show.
What did you say? I didn't stutter. I said.
The Machine Radio Show.
You just blew my mind.
You're welcome.
Enjoy the show.
We back.
Are we?
We back.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are we?
Yep.
Are you going to try your soothing? I mean, no, bad. Very bad. Okay, let's see. Where do we want to go with next? Actually, you know what? I want to go to this because I am, and I do believe it's across the board that everybody just absolutely hates the racial shit. You know, it's the word's losing its meaning, period. But this is a great response from somebody I heard, and I actually just wanted to share it with you guys, really.
At what point does your uncomfortable feelings around being called...
There are three...
Hold on. It cuts off. For some reason, it cut off on me. But before we get to the lady's response, what she says, you know, on being called racist or white, you know, any of that, and the response that comes next from this lady, my hat's off to her. Absolutely. Like, she does such a wonderful job just laying it out.
Doors in my bedroom. All three of these doors are white. These glasses help me see the world exactly as it is, so when I look through these glasses, the doors are white. If I were to get my glasses tinted blue, the doors would appear blue. The color of the door has not changed, just my perception of the door. Because of the blue tinted glasses, I'm going to see blue where it does not exist. If racism is the lens through which you see the world, you're going to see racism where it does not exist. I have two pairs of glasses. I got these in 2012 and I did not upgrade until 2020. I was walking around in an outdated prescription thinking I was seeing the world just fine. I didn't realize how distorted everything was until I upgraded and got a clearer prescription. Some of y'all look like this, blue tinted glasses and an outdated prescription. Not only is your vision distorted, but you're adding in details that do not exist. Time to shift your perspective. As a black woman, this long-term suffering, I have no idea what you're talking about. The problem isn't white people, it's your perception of white people.
Yeah, they use the slow down function.
Oh,
I think it was an accident that she did that, but
yeah.
But can you find anything that you can argue with about her perception of that right there? What she said, her thoughts on it.
No.
She's right. It's no different than us, you know, saying you're looking through something with rose-colored glasses.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of looking at a stained glass window. It just depends on what angle, you know, you're looking at it. Is the viewpoint.
Right. But that's exactly how most people see it, and people like the woman that asked that question, or like the woman that I responded to about the American flag. She's like, if I'm driving around and I see an American flag, I automatically think you're racist. I'm sorry, and she starts laughing about it. I'm like, no, you're not sorry. That is your perception. It's nowhere in reality, but that's your perception of it. And it's the same thing, like she said. They look through things in a racial lens, and if you look through things in a racial lens, then that's all you see, and you put things that aren't there. And they do that continuously. I mean, for fuck's sake, we made an entire list that took up an entire hour and 20 minutes of the show one time, almost an hour and a half, if I remember correctly, on the stupid shit that they fucking call racist. White milk, bread, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, pants. Seriously, we made this list and we're like, these people are serious. They really believe this. I told one of them, I was like, you know what? I said, since peanut butter and jelly seems to be racist, I'm going to get the whitest bread possible, Wonder Bread. And I'm going to fill that shit with that gooey goodness. And I'm going to proceed to eat it and love it. Just because it potentially pisses you off, and I'll wash it down with 2% milk. Whole milk if I really want to be a racist asshole, I guess. At least it's not your almond milk. Almonds don't have titties.
What's wrong with almond milk? How about oat milk?
They don't have.
Have you ever figured that one out? Oat milk?
Yeah, I've tried. I've tried. Yeah, I've tried. It doesn't work out for me. I don't understand it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I actually do get like almond milk or something like that for certain things, and I do in fact sometimes occasionally like drink that type of stuff, but it's not weird. You know, we're going off on a tangent here, but it's not weird to me to do so. What's weird to me is saying that milk is racist and that putting pants on a certain way is racist. Math is racist. Remember, 2 + 2 doesn't equal 4.
Yeah.
It no longer equals 4 because it's got a racial undertone. I'm like, no, apparently you were just stupid as a child and you don't know how to count, and therefore you're saying it's racist. Maybe you're the one that, that said 2 + 2 = 5 sometime in your life, and you're like, well, it's racist that you say otherwise. Like, no, that's math. That's how it works. But all the weird things, fat phobia is rooted in white supremacy. What was it? What was one of the other goofy ones we found? Oh, that giant woman. I mean, she could have been on my 600-pound life. I mean, seriously, I'm not making fun of her. I am because she's an idiot. I'm not making fun of her necessarily because of her weight. She was a very, 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 very large woman. And she said the reason why she's fat is because of racism. White supremacy made her fat. It's absolutely stunning. But yeah, you're right. You're right. And there, there's that new thing that's been going around. What do they call it? Black fatigue.
Yeah.
People like the woman that asked that question are the reason why people have that. Or that stupid, disgusting, morally dead person talking about the incident, the poor girls in Texas. When she said fuck them little white cunts.
Yeah.
And let them drown. They probably all voted the wrong way anyway, and they're, I mean, just horrible, disgusting people. We're supposed to be the morally corrupt ones. Remember, we don't care about anybody, and we're the most violent on the planet. But we're not the ones that are doing that. And I'm not talking about this is not a racial thing. Going just to clarify, I'm talking about the left versus right thing. If you want to compare, yeah, we're not even close. But your perception of us is because you're projecting your own bullshit onto us. But that's one of the things I've just, you get tired of hearing it because no matter what you do, what you say, you're racist. My favorite one wasn't long ago. It was on one of the posts on one of the history things. That one, remember that woman called me a white supremacist, a racist, and a Nazi. And I'm looking at her photo and I'm like, ma'am, I have black hair, brown eyes, and a very nice year-round tan that isn't fake. You have blonde hair and blue eyes, and you're as white as a sheet of paper. Think about what you just said. You're calling the one person who isn't even in that category, that couldn't possibly be in that category, as one, coming from someone who fits the bill perfectly. But like I said, that woman, just going back to the video, the audio, that woman just nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. My hat is absolutely, bald ass or not. Yes, motherfuckers, I'm bald. My hat is off to her because she said it in a way that obviously that person that asked the question is never going to understand. And most people that think like her are never going to understand. but she articulated it very well. And she said in a nice way what everybody else is already saying. Stop it. I don't know how many times personally that I have to say this. I don't give a shit about your ethnicity. I don't care about your skin color. I don't care about what your sexual orientation is or by what name you call God. I don't. If you're good to me, I'm good to you. It's as simple as that. You should have the same outlook because you know what? Morally is correct. I don't mean that, that I'm like the most, most moral figure ever. Have you heard me? I say a lot of off-color jokes. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But I'm glad I'm not like that. I mean, one of our our buddies and listener of the show and a very outspoken man, we met during the Trump rally, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know that man from anybody. He just happened to be in the direct vicinity of us. We both turned, seen him, and he was standing by one of the booths, and one of the booths happened to be mine. And he started looking down at my glasses, like, "Oh, hey, dude, if you want to pick it up and take a look, that was the icebreaker." So if you want to pick it up, take a look at it, go ahead, man. We all hit it off immediately. One of the coolest guys we ever met. In fact, he was one of the speakers that day. We didn't even know him. Never met him before a day in our lives. You would have thought after 20 minutes that we fucking went to school with each other and we grew up together. That was also the day that Matt said that he could have put my phone on a fan and because I was pacing back and forth in repetition like an oscillating fan. But he, it was a genuine, "Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Awesome to see you here. Let's have a good time." We didn't know he was a speaker. We didn't even know he was there for us. He could have been the opposition for all we gave a shit. And we were still talking to him like a perfectly good human being. That's the way it should be. Don't you think?
Mm-hmm. I remember him getting up on stage because I was like, "Oh shit, he's a speaker too."
Yeah, both of us are like, sweet. Because he was so cool to talk to, and yeah, I'm gonna have to reach out to him again. I've got his information and stuff like that. I just haven't talked to him for a while. We occasionally just it's funny. We just randomly will run into each other or something like that on a post or whatever. Or just reach out to one another and just sit there and talk.
Mm-hmm.
But he's said the same story to everybody else. He's like, these guys didn't know me. You're talking about how racist the Trumpers or the racist these right wingers or whatever else you want to label them as are. And he would bring us up and be like, these two fuckers just walked up to me and said, "Hey, what's going on, man? Good to see you here." He's like, I could have looked at them guys and said, "I'm a Democrat and I hate Whitey." And they would have been like, "Okay, cool, dude. Whatever. Welcome. You can sit here and listen. Maybe we'll change your mind." That was our thought process.
Yep.
It wasn't, Yes, he's actually said shit like that. I've heard him say it. Oh yeah, we've been through that. Matt heard the story about me standing in between a group of protesters and counter protesters about the BLM and the anti-BLM, and what I said between both of them. I flat out stated, I talked to both sides, and I said, listen, I was like, if one of yours comes over here and takes a swing on somebody, he's probably going to get the shit beat out of him. If one of ours goes over there and takes a swing at one of you guys, he's probably going to get the shit beat out of him. I was like, these hands are rated E for everyone. And we became, again, complete opposites. They knew. I told them, I said, I'm a freelance journalist or whatever. But at the same time, these are my thoughts, okay, and I'm going to share them with you, and then maybe we can talk back and forth. We did not like each other, politically at all, but we respected each other, and we had great conversations about the differences of both sides. And when a scuffle started to break out, when people started yelling, He, not me, he was the first one to say no. Listen to what this, you guys heard what he said earlier, that he's not going to deal with it, and neither am I. He's like, we're here to protest. They're here to counter-protest. That's their right. That's our right. And that was the end of it, you know, but I don't know. I don't get it. I guess I just don't like people anymore. What? Nothing to say on that one?
Just the world we live in now.
Right. Well, and the worst thing was, I used to be one of those. I used to, and I don't mean one of those in what they're saying. I mean, I used to be one of the ones that, you know, believed that, you know, people are largely good. I really wanted to believe that people are largely good. They're not going to burn you. They're not going to screw you over and stuff like that. And after a lifetime of getting fucking screwed, boy, did my shit change. Like, rapidly changed.
Mm-hmm.
And I hated it. I hated the thoughts, you know, that I was getting about people and stuff like that, and about, you know, just about society as a whole. Hated it. Still do. But now you're almost conditioned to think that way. Just because of what goes on.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And not that it fits, but somebody requested, so.
It's all or nothing, blood in, blood out. You either bleed for this or get the fuck out. Boom, bitch, kill shot. Boom, bitch, kill shot. In the darkest night, nowhere to hide. Through the blood-soaked streets, watch the dead rise. It's a world war, not just a battleground. Send these fuckers back to hell with your body count. Like a dry season hurricane. It falls like acid rain. It's not alright. A world of monsters, death is all around. Death of the flesh. The barrel sings till there's nothing left. Boom, bitch, kill shot. Boom, bitch, kill shot. Suffer in the flames of your fight. Rolling flesh and veins, there's a hunger for damnation. From the darkness may arise apocalyptic condemnation. Ready, steady, aim, fire. Boom, bitch, kill shot. Boom, bitch, kill shot. In a war-torn world, the rise of the dead, aim for the head.
You, sir, are not one of my vassals. Who are you?
I am the machine.
What? I'm the machine! Okay!
You are listening to the Machine Radio Show.
Not your daddy's conservative talk radio.
Who the fuck do you think you are?
I'm the machine! Fuck that bitch. This is America! Fuck yeah! Tonight you party with us, yes?
Okay! Yeah! Yeah! Ah, skate, 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 skate!
You're late.
Yep.
Stop looking at your phone. You're interrupting, sir. You're distracting me. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, we already know that protesters are being arrested because they're not protesters, they're fucking rioters. But we'll listen to that. I'll bring that up too. And we got another couple. Oh, shit. I forgot that one's 3 minutes long, but it's so worth it.
What is it? Oh.
That one.
Oh.
But first, we got to listen to this poor girl who's talking about the people that have been arrested for protesting.
Protesting.
Yeah, that's what they're calling it now.
Breaking news out of Spokane, Washington. This morning, federal agents came to the homes of a few local activists and organizers to arrest them on federal charges in connection with the anti-ICE protests on June 11th.
Let's just stop right there. If you have federal charges coming against you, you're not a protester. You've done something really damn bad, actually. Or at least are suspected of. They're not going to send federal agents to your house
for no reason.
If they don't have suspicion, yeah. Sometimes the suspicion is unfounded, but in these cases, when she's talking about the June 11th Spokane, Washington protest, yeah, they were attacking people, and these were like the heads of cabbage that egged it on. So, and it wasn't conspiracy to incite violence, it was inciting violence. There's a difference. But let's listen to her. She's got 59 seconds to talk.
So far, we've confirmed the names of 4 people who were arrested this morning. Former City Council President Ben Stuckert, local organizer Justice for All, artist Aaron Lang. Justice and Aaron were originally brought up on felony charges in connection with the protests. And Jack Archer, a local organizer who was not arrested at all at the protests, which marks an escalation in federal tactics and crackdowns. We do not know where these 4...
Actually, the last one was because they had to identify him. Yeah, that's what happened. If you look up the story on all of these, yeah, the last one was, covered up and everything else like that, and they had to identify him for doing a violent crime. By the way, you don't get felonies just for talking. You don't get felonies for protesting. You can get disturbing the peace or whatever else like that, a misdemeanor, but you got to do something first to be brought up on those types of charges, and there definitely has to be evidence for that. But let's...
I mean, like destroying or vandalizing federal government property?
Did you see the last one where the fat guy walked up and stabbed a tire of an ICE vehicle
and then attempted to run, which was hilarious because this man was not built to run.
Yeah, did you ever watch? Have you ever seen Ted?
Mm-hmm.
I can hear the fat kid. I can tell he's running. It sounds hilarious. That's what it reminded me of because he waddled back and forth and he wasn't going anywhere fast. It was great, actually.
People are being kept at the moment. They haven't shown up on jail rolls yet, so we don't know where they've been taken. We also don't know if more arrests are coming or not. Spokane Police Department said that they were not involved in the arrests and were not notified by the U.S. Marshals that these arrests were happening until after they'd already started. Spokane Mayor Lisa Brown called it a perversion of our justice system and an escalation from the federal government. This is breaking news, and we're going to be following this story as best we can this week. So stay tuned for more updates.
And believe it or not, I actually subscribe to the updates. I want to hear this. But it's almost like she forgot what happened to people that weren't even at the Capitol during their favorite their favorite speaking, talking point of January 6th. J6 this, J6 that. You forgot about that, didn't you? When people were picked up randomly and thrown in jail and not even tried for several years. But you're okay with that. You guys were, applauding and wanting that to happen. But now that the shoe's on the other foot and you guys have actually done something and been caught, oh, well, they're just being randomly picked up and we don't know where they are. Excuse me while I get my violin out. I don't have a violin. But yeah, I wanted you guys to hear that because I started watching some of her videos and everything. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna pick the first one and just keep it and then run with it. We'll do more on that one later because more needs to come out, videos wise. But yeah, like I said, it's the same. It's the same people that were like, yeah, you should be locked up indefinitely, indefinite detention, whatever else like that. Even if you weren't there because you just happen to be guilt by association. But when it happens to us, oh no, it's a miscarriage of justice in the federal, everything's being federalized and It's lovely. And before we play that one, let's play this one first.
All right.
Especially thank you for giving me a platform to plead with members of this body, all on the Democrat side, to stand down on their threats against the men and women of Immigration and Customs Enforcement. The violence is getting out of control, and it is fueled by the demagoguery of politicians. Whether it is one of your members telling Axios that there needs to be blood to grab the attention of the press and the public, another saying civility isn't working and to prepare for violence, or even a member of this committee being arrested for forcibly impeding and interfering with federal officials, this escalation deserves condemnation. It needs to stop, and it needs to stop now. Assaults against ICE officers are up over 830%, and that's a lowball estimate. There have been violent incidents in Alvarado, McAllen,
The gentleman suspend briefly. Yes, Mr.
So I got a point of order. Pursuant to Clause 2K8 of Rule 11, I raise a point of order that this testimony is outside the scope of the hearing.
I would object to that position, Mr. Chairman. That's absurd.
I would object as well.
Man has
You could hear a pin drop as everybody unanimously went, this guy is dumber than a box of rocks.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell?
No, and what this guy said, you got these resolutions at least, and I said resolutions at least in multiple Democrat states and Democrat cities, and you know what they're trying to do. Like, well, the ICE can't wear masks. They can't wear masks. We need to be able to see, and they're coming around and they're not announcing themselves or anything else like that. That's not entirely true. The reason why they're wearing masks is because of idiots like you who want them to get attacked for doing their job. Yeah, yes, we're talking to you, the congressmen and women of the Democratic Party who stand out there saying, you need to get in their faces, you need to stop them, you need to find out who they are, and then you start doxing them, and then you put their families at risk and shit like that. No wonder they're wearing fucking masks. By the way, their uniforms very clearly say ICE. Like, very clearly. So there's that. But think about what you just said. Mow it over a little bit and wonder why. I mean, you got to be the dumbest motherfucker on the planet to not understand why they're covering up. They're like, well, it's a modern day Gestapo. You motherfuckers don't even know what the Gestapo was. You call them the Gestapo, but you don't even know what the Gestapo was. Ignorance of history is astounding. Most of you are the reason why the education system needs a revamping.
See, I was always taught you don't use words you don't know the definitions to.
Oh, you mean like I don't know. There's so many of them that we can choose from. Let's think here. Which ones are our favorites? Genocide being one of them. Nazi, fascist, racist, some sort of phobic. Most of them don't even know what these fucking words mean.
Mm-hmm. And I've never understood how these Democratic representatives have not been arrested for inciting these riots, you know, like getting in their faces, finding out who they are, you know.
Rules for thee, not for me.
Yeah. When is that shit going to end?
It won't. It never will. It's not how the system works, unfortunately. But one man who decided he had absolute enough of that is Mike Howell. And during his hearing, holy shit, this guy became my spirit animal. I'll be honest with you guys, no joke. I thought it was an edited video. I thought it was a deep fake or something like that, and I had to look for it and dig through it and find it in different. So, you know, you got to find multiple sources. As a historian, that's kind of what I do. I don't take everything as gospel. I get the information. I dig through the information. I find more information on that information and possibly more information on the information that I found. And then I put it together and create something. And by the way, once that thing is created, something else may come along where I might have to change that position a little bit or add to it. That's the role of a historian. But I had to look through and try and find anything I could on this audio, and when I found out it was absolutely genuine, like a baby's arm holding an apple, I could hammer nails. Because he really let them have it. I mean, here, let's just listen. It's 3 minutes and 26 seconds long. I may or may not pause it.
Mr. Howell, I have a couple of questions for you. Very straightforward, yes or no. Do you support this type of treatment of human beings?
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. All the other Democrats haven't asked a question, so I kind of wasn't paying attention. Can you restate it?
Savage coming out the gate.
You know what's terrible is that would have been my response.
Uh-huh.
You know damn well that if I was sitting in front of Congress, that's exactly what I would have said. I was like, I'm sorry, none of you else have been asking questions. I didn't catch it, so what, can you repeat it? Oh, boy. Yeah, let's keep going.
Okay. The detention center facility conditions in this country are atrocious. Women are being harassed. They're being dehumanized. In Arizona, they were forced to march outside in 120-degree heat until somebody fainted. I have visited these detention centers as part of my oversight responsibilities. I know you're a big fan of oversight.
Yeah, let's pause that again. No, honey, you did not. And we're not going to take your word for it because actually that's not in your scope. You don't have that authority. So we know that's bullshit. You sound just like AOC when she stood outside of an empty parking lot screaming at a fence for photos. There's a fly on my hat. He won't go away. All right, moving right along.
Do you think that is acceptable treatment of human beings by the United States of America?
For illegal aliens to be detained throughout their immigration proceedings, yes, I think it's the
in that
law.
way. To be treated in
I'm
that
not taking your word for it.
Okay. On top of that, 17 million Americans were just cut off of health care thanks to the vote of all of the Republican colleagues over here. Meanwhile, Republicans just gave more money to ICE and DHS to the tune of $170 billion. It's now one of the largest funded agencies in the world.
Actually, the reason why they got that money is because they were underfunded from the previous administration. So nice try. They were just getting the money back and maybe a little bit extra on what they had before. She is batting 1,000 right now, isn't she?
Yeah.
This is impressive. I bet it gets worse.
I bet it is.
Yeah, something tells me it gets worse, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's bothering you now.
Yeah.
He's on your microphone. I can hear it through my cans.
Oh, I think I got him.
Did you?
I think so.
Where'd it go?
I don't know. He would have went that way.
As long as he didn't land in my bourbon, we're good. All right. Let's keep going. The fly heard round the world.
About 16th or 17th in terms of what a military would look like for other countries. Again, you talked about the importance of oversight, Mr. Howell. Do you believe that members of Congress are legally allowed to conduct oversight of ICE detention facilities?
As we've written extensively the Oversight Project, because we're trying to help keep your colleagues out of jail, like Representative McIver, who was indicted. I misspoke when I said she was arrested. You as an individual member do not have oversight authority. Oversight authority by the rules of the House flows through the full House to the chairman, and that right now is held by the majority. So
It is
despite the
legally
statute
allowed.
that you cite,
Mr.
it's going to
Howell,
end up with more
reclaiming my
Democrats
time.
clogging our
Reclaiming
jails.
my time.
I want to keep you out of jail.
Reclaiming my time. Thank you. It is actually legal for members of Congress to go to detention center facilities that are operated by our government and to conduct oversight. That actually is legally allowed.
That is incorrect.
Yeah, that's so. Yeah, no, that you don't have that authority. You cannot do that.
That's like saying just because you're a civilian, you're allowed to go explore the, National Guard base that your tax money funds. No, you don't. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't. I don't have a military ID anymore, but I guess I'm going to go back to Camp Pendleton and just walk around randomly.
Right. How's that going to work out for you?
Well, as per what happened when I was in boot camp, I don't think it's going to happen very well. See, there was an accident outside the wire, car accident, and road rage. One guy shot the other and tried to run away, and he decided to jump the fence, and he was dead before he hit the ground. He didn't even make it up. He made it. He broke the plane. He made the top of the fence, but he was dead before he hit the fucking the grass on the other side. Yeah, it's not going to work out. Just because it's taxpayer funded doesn't mean I can walk in and do it. And no, you don't have that type of authority because of the type of, what the situation is and why it's there. You can't do that. You can vote for a measure, but no, you do not have the strength of being able to walk in wherever you want, for your oversight, as you said. You forget that people do actually understand that and know that, and what you're saying is complete lies. But let's let Mike talk.
We also know that the Trump administration is funneling billions and billions of dollars to private for-profit prisons. I heard today a number of $6 billion to NGOs that you all are so concerned about. The private prison companies in this country, like Core Civic and Geo Group, are making billions of dollars in profits because of the massive, and stunning corruption. They gave billions of dollars to elect Donald Trump. Now we're making sure that they make billions of dollars. And speaking of sheer corruption and cover-ups for the ultra-wealthy, Mr. Howe, I know you have spent quite a lot of time talking about the importance of releasing the Epstein files, but now you're kind of parroting Trump talking points about this being a Democratic hoax. I'm wondering if yes or no.
What did I say?
Do you support the?
No, what have I parroted
Do you support
about it being a hoax?
It's a yes or no. Do you support?
No, it's not. You said something false. I'm asking you to cite what you said, which is clearly false, because I've not said what you said.
Mr. Howell, my question is, do you support the public release of the Epstein files?
My answer is written in an op-ed in the Blaze,
yes
which you
or
can
no?
read.
Yes or no?
Listen, ma'am, I am trying to answer
It's
your
a yes or
question.
no,
You
Mr.
are lying to the American people
I'm asking you
in
a
your
simple
misstatements. You
question.
just told a lie in this committee
Mr.
room.
Howell,
I'm
do
trying
you-
to clear up the record.
It's very simple.
I am trying to answer if you let me speak.
Do you
I think the
support it?
public deserves way more transparency than we've got. I've written that. You've accused me of parroting another
It would be
talking point,
wonderful
which
if
I have not.
all
Bring
of
the
us-
receipts. You're lying, and everybody knows it.
Mr. Howell, I
The
simply
gentleman
asked
will
you a yes or no
suspend
question.
the gentlelady's time.
It's a yes or no question.
The gentlelady.
In other words, he was like, quit lying and shut the fuck up.
Mike Howell for the win.
Yep.
By the way, I've already talked about the Epstein file thing. I think Pam Bondi was a fucking moron for saying what she said, and then because it was an outright lie. If she didn't have the information, then she shouldn't have said that. I think she put the president in a position where it makes him look bad because, well, look at what he had to say. think I think the sole problem here is with Bondi. Was there an Epstein list? We have no idea. Anybody who says they have the Epstein list, they're lying their fucking ass off. Because during an active investigation, they're not going to give you the list of people that are potentially on it. They're like, well, the reason why they're not releasing it is because Donald Trump is on it. If that was the truth, the previous administration would have dropped that shit like as fast as they got their fucking hands on it. Guaranteed. Think about what they did. I mean, the man, what was it, 1973, he pulled the tag off a mattress. That's the kind of shit. I mean, they went through everything, every scope of his life, did everything they possibly could to destroy that man, up to and including trying to kill him. And they didn't release that. The one thing that would have been so damning that the entire country would have turned on him. Think about it. Not only that, do you not remember the whole situation where they said they were trying to get into the FBI offices and were locked out before Patel and Bondi and everybody even got put into office, their other prospective offices, because they were destroying evidence. Who's to say that that some of that evidence might not have been the Epstein files? Who the fuck knows? Do we even know if there really was a black book? At this point, I don't trust that either. And I'm not talking just from the Democrats. I'm talking about from the Republicans, too. You forget, we live in a gray area. We don't fucking have a party affiliation. So if both of them are wrong, both of them are wrong. If both of them lied, both of them lied. Do I think we should know about it? Sure. Even if it shakes up, if it drains the swamp and shakes up Washington, I could give a fuck less. I don't care if they're Republican, Democrat, or whatever. If they're on the supposed list that supposedly, exists and they were doing bad things on a little island, expose them and get them out. But I promise you, everybody out there, that shit that you see online of the supposed list, it was a fake. We knew it from the beginning. Most people who have an IQ above room temperature do know that was a fake. Because they're not going to release that. Because it had been too damning for their side. And again, I'll repeat it one more time. If Donald Trump was on that list, they would have already released it to try and destroy him. I mean, they used a fucking fake dossier to try and destroy his last run. So, am I wrong?
No.
Nobody's above the law except Democrats. Precisely. Entitled Democrat divinity excludes them from the reality by choice, so why not the law? You're not wrong. And yes, Chris, I see you in there hiding in there somewhere. But I think our friend Mike did a really good job.
Yeah.
A really good job at that, actually. And before we go to break, we'll play one more, okay? This is Julio Rosas?
Yeah.
On the ice raid at the cannabis farm. Because I told everybody, I said, when they were freaking out, oh, look at what they're doing. One guy died. Yeah, he jumped off a fucking building. What do you think he's going to do? It wasn't Bugs Bunny. He's not going to hit the ground and go, yeah, look at me. But they're like, oh, it's just so terrible. They were raiding these farms, cannabis farm. Let's be clear, cannabis farm. And a lot of information started coming out immediately on why they picked that one particular one. Out of all the farms, they picked that one. Here's why. Listen to Julio.
I'm here testifying today as a proud Latino, but most importantly, I'm here as an American citizen. This is my country. This is my home. This is where I grew up in. And that is why the rhetoric coming from one side of the aisle about these operations saying, no, we got to keep our cheap labor so that we can maintain our standard of living proves that they want to view Latinos simply as a underclass to siphon votes from and fearmonger from every time that there's an election.
I'm going to pause it right there real quick. He's not wrong because that's exactly what they see them as. They see them as an object. They see them as a worker. They only see them as something to have to make their lives better. Not the person that's working lives better. They want that cheap labor. And they've said the quiet part out loud on multiple occasions. Some of the most prominent Democrats have said that line. Well, who's going to pick your fruit? Well, who's going to do this and do that? So basically, you want slaves. You want to pay them, less than minimum wage. You want to make sure that they're undocumented when you're doing so, because you don't have to worry about working conditions or anything else like that. You just want them to take care of how you see your life. You want that product as cheap as possible, right? That's exactly what you're asking for. You don't care about them people. It's almost like a repeat of the 1860s.
I was just getting ready to say, it almost sounds like history's trying to repeat itself.
Yeah, it is. But you want to add something else before I hit the go button?
No, I just say we got it.
They're content with keeping us as that servant underclass, and that is why it is disgusting to see them criticize that recent raid in Ventura County where they found unaccompanied minors working alongside convicted sex offenders at a cannabis farm. No, we got to keep them there, because or else how else are we going to get high if we can't have unaccompanied minors harvest?
Hold on, let's go back there. Undocumented for one, minors for another. Around what they were, yeah.
Yeah, minors, which means they are not allowed to work there.
Mm-mm.
And it makes it even worse when they're side by side with sex offenders,
which are not allowed to work there either, because actually by federal, by the statutes of, I do believe every state that has legalization of marijuana, I almost said federal. It's not legal federally, and it probably never will be. That was a mistake on my part, so I apologize. But most of the state statutes say you have to be at least 21 years of age, a legal citizen, have a clear background. There's a lot of stuff you got to go through in order to handle said product, because it's still a drug. So the fact that they're minors is bad enough. Moving right along.
It's quite frankly despicable. And the last thing I want to say is that the last time I appeared before this committee, we had one member say that Antifa is just an ideology, it's not a movement, by using an outdated quote from the FBI director. Well, coming back from Los Angeles, Seattle, and Portland just this past month with the recent riots, I can tell you that Antifa is very real, and the fact that they are also connected to that recent attempted ambush at that ICE facility in Texas. So I just wanted to reflect for the record that I was right then, right now, that Antifa is very real and they're very dangerous. Thank you.
And I still think that they're not on the terrorist watch list yet, are they?
I don't know. I would have to look it up.
Let's do that.
But I don't remember.
Yes.
I know it was gearing up for that.
Okay, maybe I asked the wrong question here. Nope, they're not. They're not. Not yet. No surprise. Remember, Pants Tits, said they're an idea, not an organization. I was like, well, your organization was trying to kill a bunch of police officers inside of a government building, and by setting it on fire and trying to burn them alive, and among other things. And that one of the organizations that you guys say you hate the most, the Proud Boys. I'm still trying to figure out how they're the biggest racist organization in the country when their leaders Enrique Tarrio. Sounds very white to me. But anyhow, the reason why they exist in the first place is because they were the answer to Antifa. So there is that.
Mm-hmm.
Oops, I had the wrong one. Trying to find something for break real quick because we're running out of time here. We still got a little bit more to get through. I want to make fun of Bernie Sanders again. It's always a joy. It's an easy joy, but it's still a joy. Let's see. I don't know. What are you thinking? Seriously. Well, someone did ask for...
Yeah.
It's not the right song, but... All right, we'll go with this.
All right. Hey lefties, liberals, and progressives. This is not a safe space. I repeat, this is not a safe space.
If you are one of those squishies who are easily offended, put on your safety pins, pussy hats, and leave this radio station. Or you can free yourself and get educated.
Well, hell yeah! I tried to twist him up, but he wouldn't have it. Hell no. This old boy's wow. We about to have to keep this one.
You are listening to the Machine Radio Show with your hosts, Brandon
and Matt.
Talking about a bunch of hobos with fingers in each other's pooper in a stranger's car with talk radio playing really loud. It's going to be a nice evening.
Okay, shit just got real weird. I think I'm going to need a safe space.
What the? Are those friends of yours, Matt?
Oh, hell no.
Are you sure?
Oh, shut your dumpster and start the show already.
Well, all right, pissy pants. Let's do everything you want to do.
Hi, we're back. Let's see. I know I had something else. I know I mentioned Bernie. I thought there was something else other than Bernie I wanted to get to, but I think that's it. Oh yeah, we're gonna open that one, and we're gonna open that one. Well, we already know that there's a mayoral candidate in New York that, even by his own admission, his plans and everything else like that, he's extremely dangerous. And I mean, he's communism personified, isn't he not?
Oh yeah. I think he even admitted that he really doesn't know what he's doing.
Well, that's Zoran or whatever. But of course, automatically, Mr. Democratic Socialist himself, good old Weekend at Bernie's, has came out in an endorsement.
Is he just a glutton for punishment? You know how many times they've thrown this man under the bus?
Yeah.
Does he enjoy it? I mean, is this a kink of his or a fetish or something? I mean,
I do believe so. But let's listen to Bernie's new commercial, his endorsement of the communist.
I just had the opportunity to meet with Zoran Mamdani, who, in my view, is going to be a great mayor in New York City. And obviously, what I like about him most is speaking to the needs of working class New Yorkers, and in fact, people all over this country who are demanding affordability, to demand the understanding that people should be able to afford housing, should be able to afford childcare, and not have to go broke paying for basic necessities of life. But I got to tell you, one of the...
I mean, it sounds perfect, right? Right? Because that's what we're all for, hence the reason why we don't want so many fucking taxes in our life. But it sounds great. I mean, the message, oh yeah. Go listen to his message. That's not what he says at all. What do you think? Moving right along, huh?
Concerns that I have in terms of what's going on in New York City right now is you're seeing billionaires, people like Mr. Ackman, billionaires are saying, you know what? We don't like the results of the Democratic primary. We are prepared to...
Nobody liked the results of the Democrat primary. Nobody, including Democrats. They were pretty damn upset about this jackass being even anywhere close to being the nominee when there was... I can't believe I'm going to say this, because this hurts me badly. But remember the two brothers that have always been in politics for a really long time? One of them has has a show on TV. I'm not even going to say their names because everybody knows who I'm talking about. He was on the ticket. He's a jackass, and he's smarter than this other guy. Even if I was a Democrat, I'd been like, I'm going to take him over this. But let's move right along.
Spend tens and tens of millions of dollars through a super PAC to defeat Zoran. Now, I don't care what your political views are. Most of us believe in democracy, one person, one vote. The idea that billionaires are...
No, we believe in a constitutional republic, not your idea. So, moving right along.
Openly saying it on the front pages of the newspaper. We're going to spend whatever it takes. That is not democracy. So I hope the people of New York City, people all over this country, understand the importance of supporting Zoran so that we can have somebody there fighting for the needs of working people, somebody prepared to take on billionaires whose greed is destroying this country. Thank you.
Questions? Got questions? Do we really have to go through this again?
Is Bernie a submissive?
I do believe he likes the ball gag, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because look at what they did to him. Like, seriously, I felt bad for the guy. I mean, they fucked his eyeballs out.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, you know what? We know you're a better front runner and everything else like that, but we're gonna put Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
They threw his ass under the fucking bus for Hillary. Anyhow, you know what? This reeks of his famous word. I do believe he has a very, 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 very limited vocabulary. And he only knows one word. And I even wrote down what years and how many times he said it. Horrifically enough. But let's listen.
Okay.
This is a little montage I managed to put, kind of get together.
Great country of ours is moving very rapidly in the direction of oligarchy. The United States of America today is increasingly becoming an oligarchy. More and more moving toward an oligarchy. We are moving in the direction of oligarchy. We will move even more rapidly in the direction of an oligarchy. This great country is evolving into an oligarchic society. It is called oligarchy, and that is the system we are rapidly moving toward. This is a budget that moves our country rapidly into the direction of oligarchy. A handful of billionaires are moving this entire planet toward an oligarchic society.
Start off with the bad news, which is pretty bad, and that is that under Donald Trump, this country is hurtling rapidly toward oligarchy.
Yes. Guys, with exception of the very, very last one that was put in there, you would think that's all from the same year, right? Or at least in the same time period, right?
I'll be honest with you, the beginning of it, he sounded a lot younger. So I'm going to say it's spread out.
But it's the same exact line.
Yeah.
But you would think it's around the same time, right? Just going off of that. Yeah?
I suppose.
Maybe. Possibly. Could it be? No. The very first one was from 1993. The second one from 1994. The third one from 1995. Fourth one, 2007. Then 2012. Then 2014. Then 2015. Then 2017. Then 2018. Then 2025. We are rapidly, motherfucker. It's spanned decades. I don't think it's rapidly. That might be snail's pace at this point. Bernie wouldn't mind oligarchy as long as he's one of them. It's kind of what he wanted with his Democrat socialism thing. I have talked to Sherman, guys, by the way. I see you guys constantly saying that. He's just been really busy. He's been moving and doing all sorts of fun stuff. So I'm sure he'll get back to us. But I just felt like sharing that with you guys because I seen that and I seen it's like, okay, he's endorsing this jackass. Out of all the candidates he could possibly endorse, that was it.
It's almost like endorsing David Hogue.
Yep. And then listening to it all, listening to the whole thing, I'm like, okay, here he goes with the oligarchy thing again. And sure enough, in the next clip, which I unfortunately forgot to get, he says that word again. But listen to that span, 1993 to 2025. Okay? That's almost 40 years. Maybe just, it's a shade under, but you know what I'm saying. It's pretty fucking close. And that's all he said. Well, we're rapidly moving towards an oligarchy. And then something happens. And we're rapidly moving towards an oligarchy. And then next year, we're rapidly moving. Everybody's like, seriously? It's like the boy who cried wolf type shit. If it was going to happen in your tenure, it would have already happened. It's fucking ridiculous. But I do believe, man, we powered through that. We're actually at the end of the show.
And we're moving towards a...
are we moving? What? Don't say it.
I like how he emphasizes it.
Oligarchy.
Yeah.
We are rapidly moving towards an oligarchy.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah. Oh, boy. I'm going to do it. I know I'm going to get yelled at for it, but I'm doing it anyway.
Damn, you got Down syndrome so bad, you probably got up, left, and right syndrome too.
And on that note, we would like to thank each and every one of you for joining us tonight. Thank you very much. Without you guys, well, we'd probably still be here talking to ourselves. But we appreciate each and every one of you, honestly. And we thank you all, and we'll be back next week.
Well, see, you guys have a great week.
Yep. See you later.
Mavaleka.
We spend our lives left out in the rain as you stand dry behind the window pane. You try to understand us, you have no clue. So I took a bat and I broke the glass. You're exclusive, but you have no class. Never been first, but we're built to last, and we're not afraid of you. Born to make you uncomfortable. Our hate is unconditional. Coexistence is impossible, and we're coming for you. With a black flag covering the vertical truth. Raise a black flag, pledge allegiance to our roots. With a black flag coming demolition crew. You can see on me, and I'll be back on you. You spend your life sheltered in the shade. We stood in the ruins as the fires blaze. You tried to dull our shine, but we refused. So I took a knife and I made the cut. $1 million smile that you can't stitch up. You're the diamonds and we're the rust. Trick it with your silver spoon. We're cussed again, we're flammable. We're feral motherfucking animals. Our fists are up, we're unstoppable, and we've got a gift for you. With a black flag covering the political truth. Raise a black flag, pledge allegiance to our roots. With a black flag coming demolition crew. You can see on me, and I'll be back on you. Raise your black flag, it's terrorized. Raise your black flag, no compromise. Raise your black flag, we're on the stage. Raise your black flag and stand together with me. We're on the stage, raise your black flag and stand together with me.